And welcome to PTV's coverage of this afternoon's trial game between Port Adelaide and Sydney here at Amy Stadium. Both sides just getting into position at the moment. Nice conditions, around 21 degrees, a little bit blustery. Port Adelaide kicking towards the southern end in the first quarter, the right of your screen. Of course, Sydney kicking to the left. And Sydney have come with a very, very strong side. Only missing a few players from their premiership side last year. Marty Matner and Nick Smith returned for Sydney today. Out Alex Johnson with an ACL. Ted Richards and Mike Pike out as well. And Port Adelaide looking very strong as well as we get straight into it. Big Shane Mumford up against Matthew Lobe for Port Adelaide. Well done by Mumford. Got it down there to Jack. Jack kicks it forward inside 50. Pack of players emerging. Ball spills free. Looks like Campbell Heath's in there trying to get the ball out. In dive Sydney, but there'll be a free kick and a relieving free kick to go to Port Adelaide's Campbell Heath. Playing against his former side today as well. He's had a very strong pre-season and is very neat on the left foot. He finds Pittard. Pittard plays on very, very quickly. Defensive halfback flank. Kicks long towards centre wing. Ball holds up slightly. Clash of players. Stewart ran into Lobe. Ball spills out towards Hanbury there for the Sydney side. Kicks towards half forward. Ball spills free. Nice gather. Looking for backup support. Finds it. Here goes Sydney. Drop punt on its way. That looks like it might be that man Kennedy. And it pitches just before the post and hits the post. So a minor score there for Sydney. They get the opening score of the game. They leave 1 point to Port Adelaide yet to score a minute played first quarter here at Amy Stadium. So Port Adelaide through the agency of Campbell Heath plays onto himself, kicks well outside the defensive 50-metre area. Umpire calls play on. Westhoff got the free and the mark. Well done to Wingard. Wingard over the top two. Pitches in front of Boak. Boak centre wing. Outer side to Westhoff. Back to Wingard. Good, brave run on football by Port Adelaide. That's not the best kick. Broadbent tried to half volley it. Got it back. Well kicked forward there by Wingard. Young playing in front. All good forward should be. Good contest here between Roberts Thompson and himself. Balls in there, spilling free, going around like in a pinball game. Squirts out. Well done, Sydney. Defensive 50. Jetta. So Jetta's got it all the time in the world. What an excitement machine he is. Kicks it long, but having given him the big pump up, he has kicked that 4 rows back out of bounds on the fall. And once again, Campbell Heath will take the relieving free kick for Port Adelaide. So Heath's got it. Called to play on. Scything left foot kick to no one in particular. Daniel Stewart's going to be the first player there for Port Adelaide. And takes the ball over the line. Boundary throwing 70 metres around from the Port Adelaide goal in front of the old scoreboard. So Lobe and Mumford. Lobe gets it down. Well sharked there by that man Jack. What a player he is. There we go. I've just done it again. The big put the Mozza on him. He's kicked it out in the fall. And Kane Corns this time will take the relieving free kick. No, a fantastic player, Jack, of course. One of those heroes of the premiership side for Sydney last year. Of course, upsetting Hawthorn in that magnificent grand final, that famous victory at the MCG. Corns goes short. Hartlett, good mark. Still 2 kicks from goal. In short, Stewart. Big Stewart's got it. He's marked on the perimeter. He'll kick from around about 52 metres. It is a swirling breeze. I would say he's kicking into the breeze. Very swirly, sort of southwesterly here at Amy Stadium this afternoon. So let's see if the big fella can get the reach. Familiar left foot. Stewart from 52. Yeah, that ball's going to hold up significantly. Big time. And the mark taken there by Malcheski. So Malcheski plays on for Sydney. Kicks long. Good effort there by, I think that's the big fella in Jesse White. Tries to win himself the free kick. Lewis Stevenson picks up the crumbs. Gets taken over the boundary line, of course. Jesse White involved heavily with trade talks at the end of last season in regards to the Crows and Kurt Tippett. But no, Jesse White remains in Sydney. Lobe up against Mumford. Well done there by Hanbury. Hanbury gets it across to his teammate. And all of a sudden, Sydney are out of the defensive zone. Trengove up against Reed and Alapate Carlisle. Carlisle will need some support here. We'll get it in the form of Brad Ebert. Crash, bang, in they go. High tackle. Umpire says play on. Arms and legs in everywhere. And there will be a ball up just forward of centre for Sydney, around about 75 metres away from their northern goals. So Mumford and Lobe arms and legs, like I said, everywhere. A lot of players around the football. That kick only goes as far as the Sydney player in the centre of the ground. That's going to go over the top. It might keep rolling and rolling. Can Jonas get there? Surely he can. He does. He puts out the telescopic arm and stops that going through for a major. So that ball just carried and carried and carried. Let's check that scoreboard. 5 minutes gone in the first quarter. Sydney, 2 points, leading Port Adelaide yet to score. So Port Adelaide had the footy. Deep in defence. Big Bobby Carlisle off one step. Bangs it outside the defensive 50. Big pack of players. Umpires found a free kick there. Now he's waving it on. Westhoff's got it. He's got a few problems, but finds O'Shea. O'Shea to Kane Corns. May have been held up there. In fact, umpire says throw, I think. And there will be a free kick to a young player in Tommy Walsh. I think that is for Sydney. A long way away over there on the outer side. So Walsh, piercing kick, looking for O'Keefe. What a star he is as well. Like I said, Sydney have got a very strong side in this afternoon, as have Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide have got a couple of players back into the side, which we'll be really looking forward to seeing play at least a half. Angus Monfries, of course, who did a hamstring in the first round of the NAB Cup, and John Butcher back from hip surgery, which he underwent back in August of last year. Meanwhile, McGlynn's got the footy for Sydney, kicks in forward. Brad Ebert goes with the one hand, tries to trap it, goes to the voice of Hartlett. The ball will beat him over the boundary line though, and there'll be a boundary throw in around about 15 metres, 20 metres around from the Sydney behind post. Mumford and Lobe sort of pushed under it, but well done to get that extra fist in. Puts it back into towards Bolton territory. He's been wrapped up in the tackle. And you can throw a blanket over about 26 players there in this forward area for Sydney. Plenty of players around the footy. So the ball spills free. Westhoff with that shaggy hair tries to lead to the football. Well done by Hartlett. He's wrapped up in a tackle, slung over the boundary line. And in fact, too high. The arm did slip above the right shoulder. So Hamish Hartlett will take the relieving free kick for Port Adelaide. He's had a wonderful pre-season. Corns. Short again to Westhoff. Just trying to make their way through this Sydney zone. Goes in short again to Lobe. So Lobe, they still haven't cleared the defensive 50. Kane Corns in short. Here's an opportunity to take it on through the centre, and they do. Trengo, well done to Hartlett, looking for the excitement machine in Need. Talking about excitement machines, there goes Jeddah, but Need wins the footy over the top to Pittard. Now Pittard should probably kick a goal from 35. Drop, punt, and goal. Oh, the crowd here at Amy Stadium like it. Jake Need, composure, won the football, handed it across, set up Pittard for Port Adelaide's first. Good football, the power. Port Adelaide, 1 straight goal, 6, leading Sydney 2 points. 7.5 minutes gone in the first quarter. So impressive start by Port, kicking into the teeth of a breeze at the moment. Just having a look around. Conditions magnificent. The ground in fantastic condition as always. And this crowd is building. Obviously on your screens you'll see a fairly vacant outer side, but a lot of supporters huddling in the members stand, and they're liking what they're seeing early doors. Moore gets it from Lobe. Handball over the top to Boak. Boak well done to Jonas. He'll have to jam it on the boot quickly, and he does. Now here comes Stewart and Lewis Roberts-Thompson. The old look-away handball, nicely done by Thompson. Got a little bit of backup support. Kicks long down the line, but Jackson Trengove takes the mark. True centre wing right in front of this member stand. He finds Moore. So Moore still centre wing, just forward of centre for Port Adelaide. Looking for options up a field. Ollie Wines is the one he's going to go for. He was in fringe, just had one hand in the back. And Ollie Wines, Port Adelaide's first pick of the national draft, come with some very, very big raps and had a good start to the NAB Cup. Kicks the ball high towards Stewart. Oh, big pack of players. Well done by Brad Ebert to Colquhoun. Sam Colquhoun around the body. Great centering kick. Lobe! Oh, Lobe takes the mark. Just pushed off Jesse White. Give the big assist though to Sam Colquhoun. A magnificent kick. Put it into the space, and Lobe took the mark. Only 15 metres out, 20 metres out. Pretty well directly in front for Port Adelaide second. So big Lobe. Not a massive goal scorer. Pushing forward. Jared Redden, you would think, would take the ruck. around the grounds for the next little period. Lobe going forward. Could this be a sign of the times? Drop punt on its way. The goal umpire in line barely moved. He barely moved. Lobe kicks his first, Port Adelaide second, and a good start, an impressive start against the Premiers from last year. Port Adelaide, 2 straight goals, 12, leading Sydney 2 points. Just under 10 minutes gone in this first quarter. So positive start, very good start. Bearing in mind this is both sides' final game before round 1 kicks off in a fortnight for both of these clubs. So just trying to get things right in this game. There's fairly strong lineups usually in these final trial games. Well done by Boak, tries to find Broadbent. Broadbent's got it 80 out, jams it forward in the front seat. Oh, Hartlett should have marked it. Still good enough to get the footy. This way, that away. Scything pass towards Lobe. Lobe's got to shepherd out Roberts Thompson. Calhoun's in there as well. Well done by Thompson. He just wanted the footy. To Goods. Now over the top towards O'Keefe. Goes in short to a one-on-one. Great stuff, Alapate Carlo. He read that magnificently. Heath had problems. Well done by Sydney, though. Trying to get the ball out of that defensive area. Umpire floating. Says play on. Tap forward by the Port Adelaide player. Couldn't go any further than I think Armstrong. Well done here by... well, he doesn't know what to do, the young fella there in Hanbury. Hanbury finally gives it to a Sydney Swan teammate, and they're out of trouble to Reid. Reid to Bird. Bird gives it back to Jesse White, and they're just steadying here. Not quite finding a target, though, the Swans at this stage. Well done there by Malcheski. Kicks along the carpet. A worm burner to Mumford. Mumford over the top to Kennedy. Kennedy kicks towards goal, but that's going to float out of bounds on the fall. And the boundary umpire with the big wings extended indicate that that will be a free kick to Port Adelaide. So Brad Ebert's got it in the back pocket. Goes in short. Calhoun. Good mark. Neat mark. He's had a good campaign as well through the NAB Cup. Kicks just outside 50, but that's not good. He's trying to be brave. And you've got to try and reward that, but sometimes the risk and reward doesn't add up. And a nice mark there, and a simple mark really there to O'Keefe. And he's going to go bang on that left foot from about 52 metres for a very important goal for Sydney at this stage of the game. Drop punt on its way with the breeze. He's just hooked it, and not the best result. It's gone through for a minor score. The Swans, 3 points. Port Adelaide, 2 straight goals, 12 minutes gone first quarter. So Lewis Stevenson kicks into the teeth. Look at that ball hold up now. Bearing in mind he is a magnificent kick, Stevenson. Well done by Port Adelaide to Boak. Gee, that was clinical. That was clean. Hartlett got spoilt there by his Sydney opponent in Reece Shaw, and there'll be a boundary throw in. Pretty much true centre wing on the outer side, but magnificently sharp there by Port Adelaide's new skipper, Travis Boak. So boundary throw in. A lot of players around the footy. Redden and Mumford. Oh, he's been barreled. Free kick surely going to Travis Boak, and he will take it. So what are his options up forward? The big Lobe, he's got the hand in the air. He's going to just kick it backwards slightly to Westhoff. Now Westhoff will take some grass here. He's going to carry the foot. He's going to have a bounce. Kicks wide to centre wing. Now that's too far for Trengo, but it's a 2-on-1. Trengo's just got to make a contest. He does to Stevenson. Now Stevenson trying to block and prop. Can't. Good football there by McGlynn. The ball goes over the boundary line. Big Bobby Carlisle nurses it over. And there will be a boundary throw in about left half forward flank for the Sydney Swans. A good 90 metres around from their goal. So Port Adelaide, good start. 13.5 minutes gone. 9 points the margin. Hope you're enjoying this. Daniel Norton with you on PTV this afternoon. And it's certainly an entertaining contest thus far. Cam O'Shea wrapped up there. O'Keefe pleading for a free kick, but the umpire said, I'll have none of that, and there will be a ball up. So Redden wins it easily, down to O'Keefe. He's been caught. He's still caught, trying to bullock his way through his guest, Sir Oliver Wines. He loves it down there. He loves it, putting his head in the hole, and there'll be a ball up. Umpire gets on with it pretty quickly. Mumford wins it that time, down to McVeigh. Sideways sort of stabby kick to Pittard. Well done there by Campbell Heath. Even better though by Bolton. Ricochets back off the cranium. In there again, squirted forward by Luke Parker. High ball. Punch forward there by the defence of Port Adelaide. Now Moore should track it to the boundary line here. That's his best friend. And it goes over the boundary line. A little bit of push and shove there with McGlynn. So the Sydney get to register a major. Port Adelaide had 2 straight. Boundary throw in. 70 metres around from the Sydney goal. Redden down to Moore. Moore jams it. Will only go as far as the Sydney player, the big fella there in Grundy. Grundy gives it back. Matner, the former Crow, on the left boot, kicks it long. Westhoff will launch. Westhoff will launch. He doesn't quite take the mark. And the ball will spill over bounds for a boundary throw-in. So entertaining start. Like I said, this crowd is filling up. Both tiers of the members stand reasonably solid and full of voice, Port Adelaide supporters. They're liking what they're seeing, and rightly so, really. It's been an impressive start and a very solid NAB Cup campaign under the new coach, Ken Hinkley. Port Adelaide try to defend here. Well done. Malcheski, though, from Sydney goes bang. It's going. I reckon it might have snuck through. The goal umpire will give it the 2 digits. He does. And Malcheski, of course, who famously kicked a couple of goals in last year's grand final, kicks the Swans first this afternoon. Sydney 1-3-9, still trailing Port Adelaide 2 straight goals, 12. We're midway through the first quarter here at Amy Stadium. So Port Adelaide ringing the changes. Lewis Stevenson, Justin Westhoff having a break at the moment. Daniel Stewart pushing forward. Port Adelaide this afternoon, of course, have rested in their forward line both Jay Schulz and Paul Stewart. Back at the centre, Broadbent wins the loose ball, kicks it inside 50. It's just going to pitch outside over the top of Wines' head. Taps it forward. Who's there for Port Adelaide to crumb? No one in particular. Grundy gets the ball. Kicks outside towards right half back, towards Bolton. So Bolton and Brad Ebert, this should be a good contest. Ebert wins it. Back to Boat, made him work a little bit, and he worked hard. Gets it to O'Shea now. O'Shea from 75 kicks an absolute shocker. Only goes as far as the goal scorer Malcheski. He's got time. Handball over the top. Skill's a little bit sloppy at this stage. Bird's got it now for Sydney. Handballs back to Lewis Roberts-Thompson, and he clears the defensive zone towards Kennedy. Umpire says play on. Thought he might have been pushed under the football. McGlynn overran it. Well done, Cahoon. To Pittard. Pittard back to Trengove. Trengove looking for backup support. Sort of set Broadbent up, but he jammed on the boot quickly. Now here's a race in 2. It is Need versus the big fella there from Sydney and Smith. And Need has won the free kick to the delight of the crowd. He won it. It was too high. And Nick Smith, who returns to the side this afternoon, will stand the mark about 48 metres out from the Port Adelaide goal. Now, judging on previous kicks, I think Jake Need is well out of his scoring zone here. He's going to kick from 51, and I thought so. Magnificently put. Great footy, young Jake Need. Great composure. Aaron Young marks 35 metres out directly in front. Well done, Jake Need. So Young became a bit of a goal scorer last year for Port Adelaide. Normally a pretty neat finisher. Will kick from 30 directly in front. The umpire dances, but he likes it. He likes it a lot. 4 points to Port Adelaide again. The fans love it. Port Adelaide move on to 3 straight goals, 18, leading Sydney 1-3-9, 18 and a quarter minutes gone in this first quarter here at Amy Stadium. Each quarter due to go for 30 minutes. Flat 30 minutes is my understanding without any time on. So working on that, there's still just over 11 minutes remaining in this first quarter. So still plenty of time for Sydney to take advantage of that breeze. Umpire puts the ball down. No rotations in terms of, there's 8 on the interchange bench, but no capped limit of rotations this afternoon. So it's very much like the round 1 scenario. Meanwhile, Sydney have taken the ball forward very, very well. And Big Sam Reid takes the mark. He's going to go short dangerously. And Kane Corns read that ball magnificently and has taken the mark. So Hartlett's got it. Kicks to Westhoff. He marks right half back for Port Adelaide. They're going to try and attack the corridor as often as they can. Ebert sat underneath it, got spoiled. Now Malcheski's got it, and now Port have got a few problems. Bolton by hand gives it over the top to that man in Jack, and he's missed it. He has missed it. Probably could have done a little bit better, but that's what's going to happen occasionally. Port Adelaide are going to try and pull the trigger through the corridor, and there will be the occasional turnover. But Ken Hinkley is all about playing brave and attacking footy, as we've heard him say so often across pre-season, and that's very exciting for Port Adelaide supporters. So Cahoon, short, Stevenson dropped the mark, squirts it around the body towards halfback, and the ball travels over the line. Daniel Stewart spoiled by Lewis Roberts-Thompson. So a boundary throw-in. 65 metres around from the Sydney goal. They'll be desperately looking to put on 2 or 3 quick goals here to take some advantage of this breeze. It is swirly, but it is favouring that lake end by, you would think, a couple of goals. Certainly kicking towards the golf course and the right of the screen here. Port Adelaide, the ball has been holding up a lot in the breeze. So McVeigh by hand. Oh, bang, crash! Wrapped up in the tackle. Toughish, I like that one. And Port Adelaide fans, that'll warm their heart. There'll be a ball up 55 metres around from the Sydney goal. Great tackle Jackson Trengove. In fact, he might have taken the wind out of his own sails. Umpire's blowing the whistle. There'll be a free kick to Sydney here out of the sort of the ruck scrimmage. So the Sydney players got it. 60 out. Still 2 kicks from goal. I think it's Bolton. Kicks it in long to Reed and Carlo. That's gone over the top. Has it bounced through? It has. It just snuck through, so a fortuitous goal there to Bolton, but he went back quickly, got on with the play very quickly. The ball spilled over the back of both Reed and Carlisle and bounced through for a major to the Sydney Swans. So Bolton kicks his first and Sydney second. It's the Swans, 2-4-16, trailing Port Adelaide by 2 points, 3 straight goals, 18, 21 and a half minutes gone in the first quarter. Daniel Norton with you this afternoon. Trust you're enjoying PTV's coverage of this game. Don't forget the Port Adelaide website, portadelaidefc.com.au, for all your information right across the season, all the breaking news stories, all the press conferences that the club conducts during the week, all the selection issues. You will find it right here on portadelaidefc.com.au. Meanwhile, Port move it through magnificently, and Boat kicks a goal from 40. Wonderful football through the corridor by Port Adelaide, and Travis Boat kicks his first and Port Adelaide's fourth. They go to 4 straight goals, 24 to Sydney, 2-4-16, 22 and a half minutes into the first quarter. That was scintillating stuff. So the goal scorers so far for Port Adelaide, Boat with his first, Matthew Lobey, Jasper Pittard and Aaron Young. For Sydney, as we mentioned a short time ago, Jude Bolton kicked 1 and Nick Malcheski 1. So we're back in the centre. Big Mumford up against burrowed in with his head, but he's been wrapped up, and there'll be a secondary bounce right next to the centre circle here at Amy Stadium. I'll throw it up. Ball just pitches in front of both ruckmen. No one got the hand to it. Mumford's crashed in. Geez, he's been tackled hard too there by Oliver Wines. He's taken down a 110 kilo man there. The ball squirts forward by Sydney. Here goes Robert Carlisle. Well done, Bobby. Like the ball on a string. Kicks it towards centre wing. Colquhoun should mark, and he does. True centre wing in front of the members stand in front of Marty Matner. So Colquhoun's got it. Goes in short. That wasn't great. Well read by Matner. And this might hurt on the rebound. It's Heath up against Reed. A bit of a mismatch. Reed holds his feet. Heath's got to get up. Now, what can Reed do? Goes in short. Great composure. Good footy. And Jared McVeigh will take the free kick, or the marking kick, from around about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angles. The turnover hurt there. Matner got the footy. Got it quickly down to Sam Reed. And McVeigh should finish. He's normally a very skillful player. Again, one of those premiership heroes from last year. Drop punt on its way, and that breeze just won't work it back. He kept it low, he punched it, allowed for a little bit of drift, but it didn't draw back enough, and another minor score to Sydney. They're now on to 2-5-17. Port Adelaide's 4 straight goals, 24 and a half minutes gone in the first quarter. So Lewis Stevenson to himself, short, Daniel Stewart, good mark. So a bit of method out of defence. Now, will he go down the line or look to try and attack down the corridor? The corridor pretty much filled, so you would think Stewart will punch it down the line. He does. Goes in long, big pack of players. Ball comes down to Colquhoun. Well done by the young man. I said throw. Infringed when he tried to get rid of the footy. So Sydney have got it. That's a lovely kick. That is fantastic to Bolton. And Bolton marks 35 metres out directly in front. And for a man of his skill, this should be an absolute soda. So one thing you notice about Sydney, as soon as they get that free kick, that infringement, particularly if they're around centre wing, they will play on very quickly. So Bolton, familiar approach, drop punt on its way. That goal umpire doesn't move a muscle. So Bolton kicks another one. He kicks his second, and Sydney's third. They go on to 3-5-23. Still trailing Port Adelaide just before quarter time. 4 straight goals, 24. Just while we've got a moment, let's check out who's in the centre for Port Adelaide in particular. So it's very young. Oliver Wines, Andrew Moore, and it looks like Cam O'Shea's in there as well. So very, very young, up against the experience of Kennedy and Luke Parker, who is young in his own right. And also, well played there by Kennedy in the meantime. Very, very quickly to Armstrong, the former Crow. He burst off the halfback flank. Kicks out towards centre wing. Stevenson leads for Port Adelaide in the race, but the boundary line should win out overall, and it does, and there'll be a boundary throw in. True centre wing position on the outer side here at Amy Stadium. 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter. We are playing 30-minute flat quarters. Umpire, what's he seeing here? An infringement. Kennedy's got it, and Kennedy bangs in long. They realise the urgency. Westhoff, the ball just eluded him. Well done by Trengove. Back to Westhoff. Pokey little check sidey kick. A good mark there, and Pittard takes the mark, and that should be 50, and it is. McLean, he's on the angry pills today. He had a little bit of a remonstration with the Port Adelaide player on the boundary line about 15 minutes ago, and then infringing there with Pittard. So Pittard's got a true centre field position. Short to Wines. Wines punches it forward, finds Hartlett. Now Hartlett will probably play on, he will. 52 out, shorts it. Only as far as the big man in Mumford. And a relieving mark there for Sydney. So Mumford in short, and he finds O'Keefe. Ryan O'Keefe, what a star he's been for Sydney. Goes in short, and Sydney methodically work it out. Bird's got it. Bird will try and find Malcheski. Malcheski still right half back for Sydney. Just over 2 minutes left in this first quarter. It's been a good first quarter. In fact, that was McGlynn. Apologies there to Sydney supporters. Over the top there, Brad Ebert gets it back from Ollie Wines. Brad Ebert kicks in long now. Need has got to go. Big spoil there by Matner. Well done, Lobe. Lobe back to Wines. Wine pirouettes out of it now. Lost a handle. It was like a cake of soap. Well done there. Back towards Brad Ebert on the left shoe. Kicks in towards Need versus Matner. Was he infringed? Umpire's waving his hands like a seagull and says play on. And there will be a boundary throw-in just around from the Port Adelaide point post, around about 25 to 30 metres around. So probably the last chance of the quarter to score. Minute and a half left in this quarter. Was there a free kick there? Surely it was. Port Adelaide player cannoned into there. And well done by Hamish Hartlett again. Head over the football, trying to win contested football, and has earned himself a free kick 40 metres out on a slight angle. So Hartlett had an impressive NAB Cup campaign. Hit a couple of magnificent goals against Melbourne in particular up at Renmark. Some huge bombs. He was kicking with the breeze in that quarter, this time into the teeth of it, but should easily make the distance. 40 out, umpire goes galloping, taps her left breast, and said that's a minor score. So that's a disappointing finish. The first blemish on Port Adelaide's scorecard. They moved to 4-1-25. Sydney 3-5-23. Over 29 minutes gone in this first quarter. Not long left. Kicks to a contest to Shaw. To the outer side. Here goes Moore. Moore is wrapped up in the tackle by Bolton. He's got to try and get rid of it. The umpire says he didn't make a legitimate attempt. That was tough. But that's how they umpire. They want to move the ball on quickly. Bolton by hand to Grundy, to McVeigh on the outer wing. Kicks it in short and finds White. So the big fella's got it with sort of like the lime green style boots. I'm not sure about those. Kicks deep inside 50. Good mark there to Lobie, and that should be quarter time. Lobie has taken the mark. And there goes the quarter time siren. So an impressive start, an entertaining start from both sides. It's been terrific to watch. Port Adelaide 4-1-25, leading Sydney 3-5-23 at the first break here at AAMI Stadium. We think Port Adelaide kicking into the teeth of probably a 2-goal breeze favouring the Lake End. Let's quickly check the goal scorers for both sides. Port Adelaide's all individual goal scorers for Port so far. Travis Spoke, Matthew Lobie, Jasper Pittard and Aaron Young, all 1 goal apiece. While for Sydney, the major goal scorer, Jude Bolton, has 2 and Nick Malcheski has 1 goal. So quarter time here at AAMI Stadium. Port Adelaide leading Sydney by 2 points. It's 4-1-25 to the Sydney Swans 3-5-23. You're with PTV.